This is your 420 Radio News for Monday, May 6, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. California's High Court upholds city bans of pot stores, from the Los Angeles Times. The California Supreme Court decided today that cities may ban medical marijuana dispensaries through zoning. The state High Court's unanimous ruling, which approved a ban by the city of Riverside, is expected to spur more such prohibitions across the state. About 200 communities now have zoning laws that exclude cannabis dispensaries. Supporters of medical cannabis have lamented that patients would be forced to drive hundreds of miles to obtain marijuana legally or be forced to buy illegally. Rather than risk lawsuits by regulating, many cities simply adopted zoning ordinances that effectively banned dispensaries. The case before the court involves such a ban by the city of Riverside. Feds ramp up crackdowns on medical marijuana dispensaries, from Think Progress. In several West Coast cities, federal officials are initiating a new round of crackdowns against dispensaries that are seemingly complying with state medical marijuana laws. In Seattle, 11 dispensaries received shutdown warnings. In San Francisco, almost half of the city's small number of state-licensed dispensaries received similar warnings. And in neighboring cities like San Jose, several others were warned. The cease and desist letters from the Drug Enforcement Administration warn harsh federal punishment, including as much as 40 years in jail, even for landlords that rent to marijuana dispensaries. They also warn that if properties do not cease marijuana activity within 30 days, the agency will pursue what's known as civil forfeiture, in which the federal government threatens to seize the facility and other assets if marijuana business continues. For those who are renting space, this means the landlord is effectively asked to evict its marijuana tenant, a process that has proved difficult as state and federal courts handling eviction proceedings resist this federal intervention. DEA spokeswoman Jody Underwood said the letters went out to those who were within 1,000 feet of a school or other prohibited area. She said since feds can't go after all dispensaries, they target those that are closer to sensitive areas as a means of enforcing federal drug law. Dispensary owners say it's almost impossible to keep within that distance in dense city settings. Even those who have been meticulous about measuring the distance and cited their facilities right outside the 1,000-foot limit say they were targeted this week. California Senate passes drug defelonization bill, from the Weed blog. The California Senate Thursday passed a bill that would give prosecutors the option of charging people caught in the possession of small amounts of hard drugs with misdemeanors instead of felonies. Senate Bill 649, the Local Control in Sentencing Act, now goes before the Assembly. Introduced by Senator Mark Leno, Democrat from San Francisco, the bill is designed to ameliorate California's ongoing over-incarceration crisis, reduce the burden of county corrections costs, because counties are taking up the burden of imprisoning large numbers of people under the state's prison realignment plan, and increase the number of problem drug users entering drug treatment. Leno sponsored similar legislation last year, but that measure required that hard drug possession be treated as a misdemeanor. That led law enforcement to oppose it, on the grounds that it removed leverage necessary to get drug users into treatment. This year's makes hard drug possession a wobbler, meaning prosecutors could charge it either as a misdemeanor or as a felony. Cigarettes are a gateway to marijuana, from Inquisitor.com. Research presented at the May 5th session of the Pediatric Academic Society's annual meeting in Washington, D.C. addressed the theory that cigarettes may be a gateway drug to marijuana use. 315 students were interviewed before they began their freshman year, and again at the end. They were asked questions regarding their attitudes and thoughts, interactions, and experiences with substances like tobacco and marijuana. More specifically, if they'd used either in their life leading up to that point, and if they'd used either in the last 28 days. The quality and frequency of each was measured. According to Science 2.0, the results revealed that prior to entering their freshman year, 33% reported a previous use of tobacco and 43% were current smokers. Of those who reported previous tobacco use, 66% of them continued with the habit throughout their freshman year. Tobacco users were found to be statistically more prone to use marijuana than non-smokers, as 53% of them reported a concurrent use of marijuana. Also, college students who used both tobacco and cannabis smoked more cigarettes per month than users of tobacco only. Massachusetts hearing medical marijuana bills before the Public Health Committee would reduce the maximum number of medical marijuana dispensaries in the state from 35 to 10. Another proposal would prohibit the dispensaries from being located within 1,000 feet of a school, house of worship, or civic center, from WBUR.org. This has been your 420 Radio News for Monday, May 6, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at local news coverage of Portland's Global Cannabis March 2013, the 14th annual event. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back after this.